JDBC CRUD operations can feel confusing at first, especially understanding how Java connects with the database. But in the next 10 minutes, you will understand how to connect Java with MySQL and perform simple CRUD operations step by step. I have explained each operation in a simple and visual way using animations and flow diagrams, so even beginners can follow easily. By the end of this video, you will be able to build your own CRUD project confidently. For this demonstration, I'll be using Eclipse IDE and MySQL database. Let's get into coding. We are going to use MySQL as our database, and I will use JDBC schema to create students table. Now we are using JDBC schema, and inside JDBC schema I will create a students table with ID and name values. Table is created. Let's use this table to perform CRUD operations from a Java program. In Eclipse IDE, I have created CRUD operations project. Inside I have taken com.jdbc package, and then I have taken JDBC CRUD operations class. Let's take main method inside the class. And in the main method, let us write the variables that we need to establish database connection. Here JDBC user is my username, JDBC123 is my password. You have to use your own username, password and database schema to avoid the exceptions. After writing the variables, let's take scanner class to read the inputs. Let us add MySQL connector jar file to the project. I have added MySQL connector 8.3 jar file. Load MySQL driver by using class.forName. Class.forName will throw class not found exception. We have to handle it. Just click on surround with try catch. It will create try and catch blocks for class not found exception. After loading the class, create database connection. Use driver manager.getConnection method to get the connection. Driver manager.getConnection method will throw an SQL exception. We have to handle it. Just click on add exception to the existing catch class, so SQL exception will be added to the catch class. As soon as the main method starts, the variables URL, username and password are created to store the database connection details. Next, the scanner SC object is created to receive user input from the keyboard. After that, the class.forName method loads the MySQL JDBC driver into memory. This driver acts as a bridge between Java and MySQL. Then driver manager.getConnection uses the database URL, username and password to communicate with the MySQL server. If the details are valid, a connection is established and a connection object is created, which we are storing in con variable. After creating connection, take infinite while loop to choose the CRUD operations. After printing the type of operation, now let us read the input, which kind of operations that user want to perform. Read the input to the variable int choice. After reading the choice, choose a switch case to perform specific operation. So in case 1, we will do insert operation. To insert records into student table, we need two values, ID and name. Let us read those values. After reading the ID, I will just consume the leftover empty string just by writing sc.next line. After this, we will read the name value. Write an insert query now. I will use PreparedStatement to execute this query in the database. Use PreparedStatement method from connection variable to create PreparedStatement object. PreparedStatement is ready with the insert query. We have to set values to the PreparedStatement now. First I will set id value. Id is of type integer, so we have to use setInt method. The column index is 1 because the first question mark represents the id. To set the name, we have to use setString method because name is of string type. Now the query is ready with the values. Now we need to use execute update method to execute the query. Here print a message, record is inserted. If there is any error in a record insertion, an exception will be raised and it will be thrown to catch block, which means the record is inserted message will not be printed. If the message is printing, which means record is already inserted. So after this we have to use break. Here write end of case 1 for clarity. Now let's understand the case 1 flow visually. If the user enters 1, the value 1 is stored in the choice variable. The switch statement checks the value of choice. Since the value is 1, case 1 executes. The program asks the user to enter an ID and name. Then an insert query is created to store the values in the database. A PreparedStatement object is created to execute the query. The ID and name values are set using setter methods. After that, the execute update method runs the query in the database. Finally, the program prints record is inserted. The break statement ends case 1 and control returns to the while loop. Our second choice is read. So we have to write case 2 for reading operations. To read the records from table, we don't need any inputs. We only need select query. Let me write the select query. I will use PreparedStatement to execute this query. We have to use execute query method for select queries. This execute query method will return a result set. Store it in the rs variable. This result set contains table data. I will use while loop to print the table data. rs.next method will move the cursor to the first row. If first row is available, the control will come inside the while loop. Here we got to print the first row values. Access the first row values by using rs variable object rs.getInt of id. After that I will print a space and then print the name rs.getString of name. Here in the place of id string and name string, we can also use the column index values 1 and 2, but id and name is more readable. After while loop we have to write break, and this is end of case 2. Now let's understand case 2 flow visually. When the user enters 2, the value 2 is stored inside the choice variable. Then the switch statement checks the value stored in choice. Since the value is 2, case 2 starts executing. First, a select query is created to retrieve all the records from the student table. After that, a PreparedStatement object is created using the select query. Next, the execute query method is called to run the query inside the database. The database processes the query and returns the table data in the form of a result set object. The result set stores all the rows returned from the database. Then a while loop is used to read the data row by row from the result set. The loop continues until all rows are read from the result set. Finally, the break statement ends case 2 and the control returns back to the main while loop. Now our third choice is to update the records. Let us write case 3 for update operation. To update student record, we need to read ID and new name. ID is to recognize which student need name need to be changed, and new name is to change that particular name into the new name. Read ID value and new name value. Consume the leftover empty string just by writing sc.nextLine. After that, read the new name. Now write a query to update student record. I will use PreparedStatement to execute this update query in the database. PreparedStatement is ready with update query, but we have to set name and ID values. Here name is our first column index now, so we have to write ps.setString because we are setting the name which is of string type, 1 comma new name. After this we have to set ID. ID is of integer type, so use setInt 2 comma update ID. Now use execute update method to run this query in database. After this, just print a message saying record is updated. Here write break, and this is end of case 3. Now let's understand the case 3 flow visually. If the user enters 3, the value 3 is stored in the choice variable. The switch statement checks the value of choice. Since the value is 3, case 3 executes. The program asks the user to enter the ID of the record to update and the new name. After that, an update query is created to modify the data in the database. A PreparedStatement object is created to execute the query. The new name and update ID values are set using the setter methods. Then the execute update method runs the query in the database. The database updates the matching record successfully. Finally, the program prints record updated. The break statement ends case 3 and control returns to the while loop. Now we need to write case 4, which is delete operation. We need to write case 4 here, sorry, it is case 4 delete operation. To delete any student record, if we have one property of that student, that is enough to delete that record. So I will choose ID to delete student records. Write the query to delete student record. I will use PreparedStatement to run this delete query in database. PreparedStatement is ready with delete query, but we have to set ID value to the query. Just use ps4 variable dot set int of 1 comma delete ID. So after this we have to use execute update method to run this query. After executing the query, just print a message saying record is deleted. After this, just write break, and this is end of case 4. Now let's understand case 4 flow visually. If the user enters 4, the value 4 is stored in the choice variable. The switch statement checks the value of choice. Since the value is 4, case 4 executes. The program asks the user to enter the ID of the record to delete. Then a delete query is created to remove the record from the database. A PreparedStatement object is created to execute the query. Next, the ID value is set using the setter method. After that, the execute update method runs the query in the database. Finally, the program prints record deleted successfully. The break statement ends case 4 and control returns to the while loop. Here we have fifth choice, which is to exit out of the program. Here just write case 5 as exit. To exit the program, first I will close the connection object. After closing the connection, just print a message saying connection is closed. After this, just write system.exit. Now let's understand the case 5 flow visually. If the user enters 5, the value 5 is stored in the choice variable. The switch statement checks the value of choice. Since the value is 5, case 5 executes. The program closes the database connection and prints a connection closed message. Then the system.exit method terminates the program successfully. If after case 5, we have to write a default case, because if the user choose any number outside from the range of 1 to 5, then this default message will print. Here just print a message saying invalid choice, choose 1 to 5 only. If the user enters any number other than 1 to 5, the switch statement executes the default case and prints invalid choice, choose 1 to 5 only. After that, control goes back to while loop again. Let's run this program. Run as Java application. So here I got an error. The error is access denied for user JDBC user using password. So I gave a wrong password. Let me recheck my password. So my actual password is JDBC123. There is no underscore. Let me save the changes and run the program again. Now the program is executing successfully. So here it is asking us to choose values. I will choose 1 to insert some records, because there are no records in the table at the moment. So ID is 1 and name is head. So here we are getting the message record is inserted, and again I will choose 1. So it is asking us to enter ID, and this time I will give ID value as 2 and name is Smith. Record is inserted. So here we have inserted 2 records. This time I will give number 2. Number 2 is read operation. Let's see whether it is reading or not. Yes, it is reading. Head and Smith is printing successfully. After this, I will use update operation. Just click on 3. Here it is asking to enter ID to update. Change the first record from head to wood. So click enter 1 and enter new name wood. So here it is saying record is updated, and let's read the values now. So this time it is printing 1 wood and 2 Smith. Now I will delete the second record 2 and Smith. So I have to choose an operation, choose 4, enter ID to delete 2. Record is deleted. Now we only have 1 record. Let me read the values and cross check. So now it is printing only 1 value, that is 1 and wood. Now I would like to exit out of this loop. We have to choose value 5. Just click on 5. Here it is saying connection is closed and it won't take any inputs now. If you have any doubts, comment them in the comment box. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.